So hello everyone, Darren here again, and today's topic is a name. That name is Jim Spism. So for those of you who don't know, today you're going to find out who Jim Spism is. When my dad was in high school in the 40s, he was born in the 40s, in the 60s, he's not that old. He and his friends, Ron and I think Garth, his friends, they made up a name of a character that they were going to sign into school and vouch for him being present in classes and in his classes. And so they came up with this name, Jim Spism. And according to my dad, this Jim Spism was enrolled into high school, and he had a list of classes that he was supposed to attend, and miraculously Jim made it to many of these classes, so when his name was called, he was present. And according to Dad, that dragged on for quite a little while, maybe longer than what they expected. I guess they had a whole bunch of fun doing it. So throughout my dad's life, whenever he needed an alias, or if he wanted to blame it on someone else, everything always got put on Jim Spism. Jim must have done it. Jim Spism did that, you know. So he would use that name quite often. And also, and this became a tradition, my dad had the tradition of signing in on people's wedding albums the name Jim Spism, kind of as a joke. And a lot of people knew who Jim Spism was. Now there might be some people out there who don't know who Jim Spism is, and for years maybe have wondered who signed into my wedding album, because that guy never got a thank you note. I don't know who it was. But Jim Spism was a figment of Dad's imagination, and it was kind of a fun tradition that he carried on. Many people have Jim Spism written in their wedding albums, and as his kids grew up, me and my sister and other people, cousins of ours and aunts and uncles, became aware of this tradition of Jim Spism signing in. And so when my dad died, a lot of us took on the responsibility of making sure that Jim Spism got signed into all the weddings for cousins and nephews and aunts and uncles and people who got married along the way. And so if you have a wedding album with the name Jim Spism in it and you're not sure who that was, now you know. And most of the family does know who that is, and know that that's a remnant of Uncle Jerry or Grandpa Jerry, or well, it won't be Grandpa yet because my kids aren't married, but Uncle Jerry or cousins or whatever. And that's kind of a funny thing that continues on. And the other thing I'll mention is that it's continued on as a tradition so much that there is more than one person that tries to make sure that Jim Spism gets signed into these wedding albums. So it's not uncommon to find a wedding album that has Jim Spism signed in 2 times or maybe even 3 times, I'm not sure, with different handwriting and different spellings along the way. So that tradition carries on, and for those of you that are helping carry on the tradition, keep up the good work. You're doing a great job, and I'll do the same. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.